Yo, welcome. My name's Nick. If you don't know who I am, I'm a high performer fat loss coach for busy men who want to lose fat in the quickest amount of time, but while not also investing a ton of time into the gym and into their diet because they have work, social life, all that sort of stuff going on. I thought I'd post this because I'm not seeing any specific guides on how to actually lose fat in the quickest amount of time possible, or at least they're not as in detail as what I thought I could bring to the table. So basically, this is a full guide, and I'll take you through this entire document. This has how to set up the diet, the exact training program I followed, the amount of time it took to go from skinny fat to ripped, and I actually got my six-pack for the first time using this entire protocol, and you can download it in the description below after you finish watching this video. So yeah, why not waste any more time, and let's get started. So basically, I lost over 26 pounds in just 6 weeks. So if you use kilograms, that's what, 12 kilograms, something like that. And for the before photo, let me show you. This is how I look. So on the left side, I'd looked like this for the last year and a half. I was on a keto diet beforehand, and I was just struggling. I was stuck. I looked the same. And I maybe gained a little bit of muscle in about a year and a half of training, but I didn't look any leaner, and I didn't lose any fat, which is what was actually going to make me feel more confident, feel more secure in taking my shirt off at the beach and actually feel good looking at myself in the mirror, which I know you guys can, you can relate to. And then after 6 weeks of using this exact program that I'll lay out, this is how we looked. This is the muscle that was revealed through all that hard training. Way more defined, the arms cut, defined, abs, obliques, all that sort of stuff. And I felt the best I ever felt about myself in ages. I'd never felt that good about myself because I thought that I was just destined to have bad genetics. I was destined to always be skinny fat. I could never have a six-pack. I had all these limiting beliefs in my head. But then when I finally pieced the right pieces of the puzzle together, we were able to make this quick transformation. And I hope you can take this transformation and apply it to yourself. This is how we'll run through it. So you can see the table of contents. We're going to start with reaching your full potential. So this is the mental transformation. You can read through this in more detail in your own time. There's also the diet, how to calculate it from energy, macros, and how to avoid diet rebound, which is a big issue that so many people face. It's actually not really the fat loss that people find so difficult, but it's the regaining the fat that people find the most difficult and throws them off of their diet and their transformation entirely. After that, we'll go into the training mindset, as well as the full routine that I followed, as well as supplements. So this is all pillars combined. Literally just copy and paste this into your life and, obviously like adjust it to your own goals, your own needs, how fast you want to lose fat. Obviously, your body and your level of activity, and just finally get rid of that fat that's been haunting you and making you feel inadequate to what you've actually achieved in your life. So let's get started. Disclaimer though, this is meant for people who want the physique changes in the quickest way. This will neglect taking a more sustainable approach to diet. Making drastic changes in a short period of time is not considered healthy by any means, and will drain you physically and mentally. This is not an easy thing. Like, this is a simple laid out, but the whole process, it will be difficult. This will be one of the more difficult things that you've done physically and mentally. Everyone has a different starting point, and therefore I can't guarantee that you will lose exactly 10 kilos in 6 weeks, because that was my individual case. I can't guarantee that for you. Due to your commitment and your starting body fat percentage. Stating otherwise would be false. However, let's get right into it. Reaching your full potential. Everyone's starting their transformation journey wants results fast. This is because patience in the modern era is hard to come by, and social media is a significant contributor to this. The more you scroll, the more highlights you see, the more jacked people you see on social media, and, purporting body dysmorphia everywhere, changing the body standards, all that sort of stuff. So these tend to make people forget that changes actually take time, and they actually have unrealistic expectations for change. But what you want more is not just a physical change, but it's a change of identity. This is very, very important. Going from the couch potato to the athlete means you will be seen differently from others around you. You believe that you're a high performer, yes? If so, then why not start looking like one? So when they have that different view of you, you'll have that different view of yourself as well. And you want that, don't you? So what is being shared here is not a go easy diet. It's not a walk in the park. It's challenging, and it will test your will to keep going through when things feel tough. But I simply know and reassure myself that if someone else can do it, me, this other guy, all these people that have had these successful results, then I can do it as well. This is being like you, like at the starting point. If someone else can do it, you can do it. There's nothing different between me and you. Like, yeah, willpower, discipline, all that sort of stuff. Like, these are all words. These are just behaviors that people act out. And you can act out the exact same behaviors. So there's nothing stopping you from doing it as well. And as someone who was only able to reach skinny fat and slightly overweight status, I was able to overcome these limitations and achieve a lean physique that revealed muscle and aesthetics I didn't know I had. So I'm about to teach you a guaranteed way to achieve results faster than you've ever seen in your life. All I'm asking for you to do is take the first step. So that's the mindset that you need to change your identity before you start taking these actions for the diet, training, and all that sort of stuff. But anyways, as you may know, dieting is the most crucial part of a fat loss transformation. Eat less, move more is a commonly shared phrase, and although it sounds, basic, so many people have no clue where to start with this. So we will indeed be eating much less than we normally do, but it has to be made of the right type of food. You may still be wondering, what specifically do I eat? Well, the truth is you can eat whatever you want on this protocol. Now, this sounds contradictory to a lot of fitness advice you might have heard before, but the reality is you can eat whatever you want on this program. However, I would heavily suggest you sticking to low-calorie, high-volume foods that are filling and provide the protein. Sorry, one second, that's Grammarly. And provide the protein you need to keep your muscle. This is super duper important. So, with that in mind, here's some ideas you can follow. So, like actual recipes, snacks that you can put together that I've put together have helped me on fat loss journeys like this. Low-fat yogurt, like Chobani or Oikos, whatever the local brand is for you at your local supermarket. It's great. It's high protein. It even has flavors if you like that sort of stuff, and it can satisfy the sweet tooth. Second is popcorn. Popcorn is actually very, very underrated. If you can get it from raw corn kernels or cooked without the oil, without the butter, it's actually very voluminous and it's very low in calories and high in fiber, which is very, very filling for the stomach. You also got lettuce and salad mixes mixed with tuna, diced vegetables, hot sauce. That's optional if you like spicy food. I personally love spicy food, so that's what I like to go for, especially Tabasco sauce and sriracha. Oof, it's good. Very, very good, very voluminous, and full of micronutrients as well, which is super duper important. Next, we got cauliflower rice and white rice. Never mind, cauliflower rice over white rice. So this is basically a rice substitution that can give you way, way more volume in your meals. 300 grams of cauliflower rice is like 30 calories. Imagine that. And 300 grams of normal rice is what? I don't know, 300, 400 calories? 10 times the difference. And it will fill you up. And there's way less carbs in there. So that's a nice food swap substitution that you can make. Next, we have cream of rice and banana. Now, this is a great pre-workout meal for any carbs that you do want to have in this program. Having cream of rice is very, very fast digesting, and any amount that you can have with your overall diet to have before workouts is super duper essential to make sure that you can still train hard in the gym. Next, we got egg white omelets. Now, this is without the egg yolk. This means it's lower in fat, lower in calories, high in protein, and will help you stick to your goals. Next, we have this one is a last resort, but it's called Halo Top Ice Cream. This is very popular in supermarkets these days. It's very low calorie, and you can have the whole tub for around 300 to 350 calories, which is insane. Like most ice creams are like 3 times that amount, especially Ben and Jerry's. So these sorts of snacks, and you can look at and research more. These will help you stick to the rule that we stated earlier, which is low calorie, high volume foods. Unfortunately, I won't be recommending a structured meal plan to the general population, as every case should be individualized, and what may work for one person won't work for everyone. This is due to many different factors, yada, yada, yada. Now, coming next are key learning and instructions to get you to make your own diet plan. So with the previous stuff that I gave you, these are example foods of what specifically you can eat, although it's not a must eat, it's not like a one fits all, but it's an idea. Now this will help you literally piece together your own diet. I'm literally giving you like everything here. So like this isn't just like a full guide. This is literal step by step helping you from the ground up to do it yourself. Your TDEE is your total daily energy expenditure. So this is an abbreviation. Now, when you know this, you'll know your maintenance calories. This is the calories that you eat per day that will keep you the same weight, same body fat, same muscle, same everything. Now, from here, you can configure the percentage of the deficit that you want the diet with. For example, the person whose TDEE is 3,000 calories, who goes into a 20% deficit, will be eating 2,400 calories per day, a 600 calorie deficit. Simple math. I actually had to use a calculator because I'm not that great at math. So please feel free to use a calculator or an online calculator to do this. In this protocol, when you have your TDEE, your maintenance calories is known. So we will start with a 50% deficit. 50%. No one recommends this. Yes, this is extreme, but it is necessary if we want to see drastic physical changes in our 6-week timeline. 6-week calorie deficit of 50% of our maintenance. Now below this, I have made a step-by-step way for you to find your maintenance calories, most simply online, without using formulas and mathematics. This is to make sure we don't steer off the path of fundamental principles to get clear on this diet portion of the guide. Now, use this calculator link that I just linked here, and it will take you to a website where you input your information, and that will give you a reference range to get started. It's not 100% accurate, but it will give you an idea of approximately the amount of calories that might be your maintenance. Next, I want you to grab a food tracking app. So this is something like MyFitnessPal, which is what I use. I've used it for almost 4 years now, which I highly recommend. You can use Carbon, MacroFactor, whatever other apps are out there, but make sure you can track the food specifically into these apps. Next is to set the calorie target to your calculated maintenance calories. Now, when you track food intake, I'd love you to do it with food scales. So you actually weigh the food, you put it into the app, and there you go. You get the accurate amount that was in there, the accurate amount of calories, protein, carbs, fats, and all that sort of stuff. Monitor weight fluctuations for an average trend over 3 days to 1 week. So this is to test, to see if that original number that you got from this online calculator, your maintenance calories, to see if it's correct, because it might not be. So if your average weight goes up, down, or stabilizes, you'll know, like, okay, maybe my maintenance calories was like 200 calories higher or 200 calories lower, or maybe it was bang on. As long as you stay accurate with tracking. And then at that point, bang, rough maintenance calories is acquired. Now wait, before we alter calories and start the whole protocol, we need to know our macro split. Now this is very, very important if our deficit is 50%. So all the foods we eat as a whole, they have nutrients. So a majority of what these nutrients are, we call macronutrients. So the main macros are proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Now, all of these play a different role in the body, and you should be aware of this as a ratio of each before we go into dropping fat quickly. So knowing the right ratio of proteins, carbs, and fats before going into this deficit, because that's a big deciding factor in whether the weight loss will come from muscle or fat. And I'm pretty sure you don't want the weight to be lost from muscle, because someone who loses weight through muscle will tend to look worse than they did before they even tried losing the weight. So making sure that most of the weight loss, if not all of it, comes from fat is super duper important. And I'll also explain ways that we can make sure that we can, if even gain some muscle or maintain it at our best through training. But anyways, back to the ratio. Now, prioritize protein. So this means that we want to be eating 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. This is basically 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight as well. This is a great goal, easy target to aim for by the end of the day. It doesn't matter how many feedings it takes, but as long as by the end of the day you have hit that target of protein or very, very close to it. As far as carbs, these should be prioritized next. So a lot of people think fat should be prioritized next. No, carbs, because we're fueling for necessary gym performance. Now, when we're going in such a big calorie deficit, we want to prioritize for gym performance so that we can maintain the muscle and still, look good at the end of this cut, because what we're trying to do is shed the fat without the muscle. And lastly, fats kept at a minimum acceptable level that won't dysregulate hormones. Fats are very, very important. We want to make sure we have enough of them so that our hormones don't go absolute dog shit. However, we're not relying on them. We're relying on carbs and proteins. So this is kind of a typical macro split. This doesn't have to be exactly yours, because different, calorie targets can change this. But it's essentially fat at around 20% or lower, 15 to 20%, with protein at 30%, sometimes higher, sometimes lower, and carbs at 50%. This can sometimes be lower. Quick tips is to eat even servings of protein throughout the day. Have the main part of the food consist of water-based foods, leaving room for carb intake pre and post workout. So making sure that most of the carbs are moved closer to the workouts. Eat slowly, allow the hunger hormones to subside. Buy low-fat alternatives for milk, yogurt, and other dairy products if you choose to eat them. This will help you stick within the low-fat percentage of your overall calories. And also, these low-fat options tend to be higher in protein, so it will help you hit your protein targets as well. Now, make sure you eat lean meats such as white fish, tuna, cod, extra lean beef, and chicken breast. These are staples that I've used time and time again and really, really help compared to the fattier meats, so that we can actually stay within our calorie budget. Measure food in grams. This is very, very important. Don't use tablespoons, handfuls, cups, all that dog shit. Because if you use all these different measuring modes, then it just confuses food tracking, not for the app, but for you. Because for the most part, if you're measuring in cups, you're just assuming. And it's better to be precise rather than assuming, because you can be off and it can cost you a lot of calories, and you can be in a smaller deficit than you believe you are. And you'd think you'd have to lower the calories you eat per day because of you not losing as much weight as you thought you would. And that overall puts you in a worse spot because you haven't been precise. Now, lastly, this is optional but highly recommended, is to eat a lot of green vegetables. You do not have to count them towards your calories because they're almost minimal. They're like 3 calories for 20 grams of spinach, and no one adds 20 grams of spinach. It's actually a lot of spinach to their meals. But I would recommend it because it has a lot of micronutrients like vitamin A, vitamin K, all that sort of stuff. Now, I know a lot of that may have been a lot. Okay, so you had the tips, you had the how to create your calorie target, knowing your maintenance and also knowing your deficit. But now we're going to move on to how to avoid diet rebound. So you have the tools, you have the knowledge to start this fat loss diet. Good luck. But a lot of people fall for diet rebound. Fun fact, this has nothing to do with your fat loss journey, but I used to be a former I was going to say fat loss player. I used to be a former basketball player. Rebounds were essential to maintaining dominance in the game, but it is something we should avoid in the realm of dieting. Here are my steps to avoiding a huge binge session after a 6-week protocol that you have been really, in a big deficit for. Once you reach this 6-week mark, or the mark where you believe you've lost a great amount of fat and you're satisfied, increase calories to your new maintenance. Now, this will be lower than what you understood beforehand. Your maintenance calories is a dynamic thing. People think it's just one thing for the rest of their lives into eternity. It's not. It changes based on your weight, your age. Because think about it. How much energy does it take to move a 20 kilo weight? Not as much as it takes to move a 40 kilo weight. So if you weigh more, it takes more energy to move you around, to do basic functions. So now that you're lighter, it'll be lower. Your new maintenance can be approximately 30% lower than the previous maintenance. Now, this is just an estimate, but be conservative. That's what I'd highly recommend. Above everything else, you may only take one piece of advice from this chapter. It's to be conservative with your calorie increase. In what you increase, it would likely be best to go to carbs. Ensure these are clean, simple forms of carbs like grains and other forms that are low in fat. You have been dieting with these lower carbs, so simply just eat more. Just eat more of what you've been eating. Pretty fucking simple. Not rocket science. Increase fats by 2 to 5% post-fat loss phase. So it's not a massive percent, but it's enough to make, things more flexible, less restrictive feeling, and it rejuvenates a lot of lacking health factors as well. And also improves the taste of foods because fats help improve the taste of everything. The immediate effect on your body in the following week will be beneficial as your energy, mood, and ability to train hard will increase. Additionally, your libido will start to ramp up, and your physique may exhibit more muscularity due to the increased glycogen stores in your muscles from newly added carbs. All great news. So this means we're on the right track. We're not doing the whole diet rebound shit. It is also seen that after this calorie increase, mainly carbs, people tend to keep losing weight even if they intend to go to maintenance. This happened to me as well. I thought my cut was going to stop at 73 kilos. I increased my calories and I ended up continuing down to 71 kilos. I was like, holy shit. So it's important to note that maintaining a healthy relationship with food, which doesn't have control over your emotions. Now, these fun foods do not have to be eaten all at once. Okay, you can, start including these more, and you will have the chance to eat these craved foods on your mind, but one by one, and in many sittings over a long time frame is best. Not all at once. Therefore, cravings should be satisfied to 1 to 2 times per week to reward your hard efforts without completely throwing away your progress. Now, that just took you from A to Z, maybe A to Y, with your entire diet transformation on this protocol. Next, we got the training. Now, this is a part that a lot of people don't do right. A lot of people think they got to do a lot more cardio, less weights, and less food. It's not the best way to look the best after these 6 weeks. We got to be training hard. So this is where I initiate what many call HIIT. Now, this isn't high-intensity interval training. This is just high-intensity training. This isn't circuit-based cardio. This is strength training in the gym with resistance, where each working set is brought to pure muscular failure, or just shy of it. Now, the truth about training hard is that most people who go to the gym work out. So this is something I like to differentiate between working out and actually training. Now, we're going to be pushing ourselves. So this is why we're calling it training. Okay, this isn't just working out. Old, 50-year-old guys doing HIIT circuits, that's working out. That's building up a sweat. Okay, we're not here to build up a sweat necessarily. We're here to train hard, push our muscles to maintain muscle, if not grow muscle during this phase. So the difference between these, people who work out and train, well, like I said, is, this person has no specific goals and is just here to work out. So the one who comes up with random routines every single week is here to work out. somebody who uses battle ropes to work up a sweat is here to work out. I've only used battle ropes once or twice in my life, and I've been training for 4+ years. The person who works out is often lazy and can't stick to one goal long enough to see a change. They switch programs and avoid discomfort. You have a clear goal of transforming your appearance, do you? Your lifestyle will be conducive to your performance in the gym. Your focus means you are disciplined, and your discipline will lead you to achieve something. Training in the gym means you train hard with progressive overload on your lifts, and you have these expectations to beat lifts every single week. Now, you know you can be better than you currently are. So let's fucking do it, bro. Let's do it. Let's commit to making this change, to pushing ourselves beyond our limits, to getting uncomfortable in the gym and actually training. So this is the warm-up. Now, a lot of people, do crazy shit for their warm-ups. This is very, very simple, but it is very, very crucial as well. Warming up our tendons, joints, muscles. It's all about bringing blood to the muscles that we're going to work on that specific day. Now, these are my warm-ups before going into my first working set of the day. 5-minute dynamic stretching. Arm circles, dead hangs, leg swings, depending on the muscles being trained that day. This mobilizes the joints to engage and improve the range of motion before every single session. You can just use feeder sets. Now, this is a funny word, but basically it feeds into the highest working weight for the real first set where you actually train hard. Now, the best way to warm up for an exercise is with that exercise. There's no other way to warm up for an exercise better. It's not going to be through doing some, crazy stretches, static and dynamic, or running on the treadmill for 5-10 minutes. It's all a waste of energy and a waste of time. So what I want you to do is pick up a light weight for the exercise or for the machine or whatever you're doing and do 8, 10, 12 reps. If you want to do more, then you can do more. That's your first warm-up set. Next, do a little bit heavier, closer to your actual working set. And do it for a little bit less reps. And if your final warm-up set, do just 1 to 3 reps, not even 2 to 5 reps, just a small amount of reps so that you start to feel the load on the target muscle and you're ready to push hard with this heavy set. And, this is like this is a given, but fewer feeder sets are necessary the further into the workout you are, because your muscles are already firing and warm. Here's the routine. I'm not going to go through all of it. You can just download the document in the description, and you can go through it yourself, and you can, remember it, write it down, start doing it. Do whatever you want. If you want to adjust some exercises, then go for it. But basically, the whole principle of this routine is training 3 to 4 times a week. You don't need to train 6 days a week. Your first working set should be reaching failure. Like, if it's not 1 rep shy, it's failure. And this is going to be in the 6 to 9 rep range. So it's not super duper high. Like, you don't have to, prep yourself for really, really long sets, 2-3 minute sets. No, this is very focused, very few reps, but very effective. And you put your all into these reps. And then after the first set, we move to the second working set, which is basically what we call a back off set. This is where you lower the weight by 25% after reaching failure. And this should land you in the 10 to 15 rep range. So this is the scheme we like to go with. Top set, 6 to 9 reps. Bottom set, 10 to 15 reps. For pretty much most exercises, because this fits rep ranges for all exercises. Make sure that we put enough mechanical tension onto the muscle. And we're looking for quality here. We're not looking for just quantity. So 2 sets is enough if we're training hard enough. If you're not training hard enough, then that's on you. But this is more than enough of what you need during this cut to maintain all the muscle in the world and look shredded and ripped in no time, pretty much. This is basically a push-pull leg split, but we are adding an arm day to the original split. So this gets enough volume to stimulate hypertrophy and helps you attain an improved physique by the end of the 6 weeks. So we have day 1. You can have this on Monday. That's push. Day 2, pull. Day 3, legs, day 4, arms. So you could do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, or what? Yeah, like that, pretty much. So like, have a rest day after 3 consecutive sessions, or even after 2 consecutive sessions. So you could do Monday, Tuesday, push pull, and then rest on Wednesday, and then you could do legs, arms on Thursday and Friday. Or you could do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, push pull legs, rest on Thursday, and then hit arms on Friday. It's up to you, but as long as you're not going every single day and you're leaving time to recover in between workouts. But here's the exercises, explaining how to conduct them so that you're really focusing on the muscle group. And yeah, push pull legs, arms. That's our routine. And what you may have come to realize while reading this is that I emphasize training hard. The routine objectively is not that much volume. It's not 20 sets per muscle group for fucking everything. It's about giving your all. That's really going to be the differentiator here. Now, most, if not all, sets should be pushed to absolute failure. If I haven't told you this enough times, you're probably getting sick of hearing it, but this is a super duper important thing. And you got to learn what it's like to train to failure. And especially with newbies, they don't know where the true point of muscular failure is in the gym. People who are new to the gym, they don't really know what training to failure actually is. They don't know the feeling. This is why this protocol means quite a lot in allowing you to finally see and test your limits in the gym to reach new heights. This is going to be very exciting if you haven't been training consistently in the gym before. If you're new, then you are gonna be fucking amazed after 3 months of training like this. So super duper happy if you do start taking this advice and applying it. You will be over the moon by the results you see. Next, but definitely not least important, is what you do outside of the gym. So we break the muscle down in the gym, but outside of the gym, we want to be recovering. So sleeping 7 to 9 hours per night, eating enough protein and calories during the day. Obviously, we'll be in a deficit, but making sure you're eating enough protein and eating carbs around your workouts so that you maintain as much muscle as possible. And if you follow this exactly as I laid out, no matter your genetics, you will be satisfied with your hard work and you will feel the difference after 6 weeks. That's a guarantee. Absolute guarantee. I didn't know I'd get the results that I got, essentially. Like, let me scroll back up. See this? Skinny fat right there on the left. On the right, goddamn. I mean, I had no clue that I could have achieved this in such a short amount of time, but I did. And you can achieve it as well. This isn't off limits to anyone. So I hope this guide explained all of this in detail for you. And there's an optional supplements below. Now, this is all dependent on who you are, and it also goes through this. But these supplements are not necessary for certain individuals and may not be needed in the recommended amounts, and some can even be averse to this. So I do have the supplement recommendations. This is what I took during my 6-week protocol. You can copy me, or you can, do the research, check with your doctor, make sure that this helps. But yeah, the purpose of supplements is to take care of your nutrient deficiencies. So these definitely occur from low-calorie diets. And if you're at a 50% deficit, it's going to be pretty low calorie. So that's just to prepare you for what's going to happen. There simply isn't enough volume of food to get enough micronutrients. So that's why the supplements are introduced. Now, if I were to recommend supplements, it'll be important to get the most important minerals so that you are maintaining energy, hormone levels, bone health, and overall well-being. So that's what the different nutrients is. And here they are in their recommended dosages. You have vitamin D, zinc, magnesium, men's multivitamin. Be very careful with the men's multivitamin. There's a lot of different ones out there, so do your research. But yeah, this is what I'd recommend if you're looking to lose as much fat as possible in 6 weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to check out my Instagram and see what I do that comes, more in line with this, and see the coaching that I do to help my clients achieve these kinds of results in 6 weeks to 12 weeks, and do it without much time investment while they're, working 40 plus hours a week, then feel free to DM me on Instagram at nicksteep_. And you can download this document below in the description and go through it yourself. I hope this gave as much value as you needed to make this transformation happen for you. And if you feel like you got the value that you expected, or even more than you expected, then feel free to drop a like, comment, let me know, and your support is much appreciated. So anyways, I'm Nick Steep, and remember, you've no more lost potential.